Hello and welcome back to The Stage Door, presented by Canberra Arts on Rogers TV right here in Corner Brook. This week I'm here with a very familiar face to Canberra Arts, to Graham Academy, to the community of Corner Brook, through communities of Stephenville, perhaps through the whole province. It's a real treat to have the one and only Amy Andrews at The Stage Door. So Amy, welcome back to The Stage Door. You've been on a couple times before.
Yes, thanks so much, Ian. It's good to be here.
It's a real treat to have you and to kind of let our viewers catch up on what you've been up to since having a major transition. Last year marked the end of an era and the beginning of an era, as we spoke with Candice Pike actually at the beginning of this season of The Stage Door about the shift to the Corner Brook Dance Hub that she's been able to facilitate thanks to a long-standing relationship between Dance Studio West and you. So how has it been retiring as an artist?
Oh, actually, it's really funny because Candice did give me a gift at the end of last year that said, "Do it yourself, I'm retired." Unfortunately, I still have to do everything myself in other aspects of my life. But yeah, it's been a huge transition, but it's been great. I couldn't have asked for a better way to close that chapter of Dance Studio West than having Candice obviously carry on with the Dance Hub. Like, that is the absolutely best possible scenario I could have asked for. But yeah, it's been, I'm still doing things. I'm there every Saturday with Violet and her classes, and I'm still, like, Candice texted me this week, "Can you do a private lesson for a ballroom thing?" I'm like, so I'm still around, still doing stuff. But it's a different entity now, which I am really excited for, and to see all the things that she has coming up is just super fun.
Yeah, and we've spoken about this a fair bit, that, dance is a profession that has a lot of tax on the body. As you age, you find certain things that you were able to do, you cannot do. In some cases, because you did them so frequently in your youth, point dancing is a great example of that. So, what has that been like through your life to kind of go from dancer to relocate here quite young, 18?
I was 19,
and start this incredible center of dance in Corner Brook. There has been dance before your arrival, but to kind of give it a home that really could operate and grow and see it grow, not only grow youth, but have some of those youth grow into becoming teachers, to grow into becoming teachers at the Dance Hub. There's still layers of that cross-generational activity. So what was that kind of journey like to go from dancer to dance facilitator and educator, business owner, all of the background stuff that come with that, and choreographer? So let's talk a little about the journey.
Like, as a teenager, being at my studio when I was living in St. John's, my studio was in Mount Pearl, and being there every single day and just doing that as a student. I don't think about what anybody else is doing. You're always just thinking about what you're doing. And then, so when it was, I've always taught. I've taught since I was 13. So if you do the math on that, it's already a career. That's done. But I started teaching when I was 13. And as that evolved, I was always trying to help other people look good, help other people do their best and feel their best and move the best way that their body could do for them. So that was a big chunk of my dance life. Being the business part of it, I was never very good at it. I will admit that. And so everybody has to know, like, that part was not my forte. I did my best. I tried really hard and I did my best. And I had some really good help. So that's one thing I have to say. If you ever go into business, have really good help. But from there, the choreographer aspect came about, and that started the second year I was here, because I got here in 98. I did my first musical in 99, and it was the first one full-fledged musical I had done. I was 20, and it was quite the experience. And I've done 50 plus now, and I'm continuing to do them. So yeah, it's been quite the journey, as people say, that I've gone from, you know, just being a dancer myself to trying to make other people dancers and help them the best they can, and then seeing my students grow up and move on to, even if it's not dance, being doctors and being, you know, all the things that life brings, and there are moms themselves and dads, and seeing a show of all of my dancers that I taught when burlesque, for example, when there was Candace and Josh and Hillary all on stage together, and I'm like, my babies. But yeah, it's the full span of all the emotions that go with it too, you know. So, but now I'm doing other things, but still have my big toe stuck in those things.
Yeah, absolutely, right? I think that is like one of the major joys of arts education, whether in the school system or privately. You get to have students for years.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
It's not just 1 year. You're often having kids for maybe 12 years, maybe even more if they start at 3.
Yeah.
You know, you're talking 15 years of seeing these students every week.
Yeah. Every week, multiple times a week. And, you know, they go
pretty
away,
amazing.
they come back.
Yeah.
You know, I can count multiple kids that have gone away to university and then come back and continue to take class, or continued as adults when they've moved back, you know?
Yeah. Students performing now across Canada, across the US, and across the UK.
The UK.
You know? And that's recent, you know?
Yeah,
that's Kate Sanders and Anna Barrett that are currently making a go of that in the UK and the US. So
they're all,
as one example of many. So it's quite an incredible legacy, I think. And
thank you.
You know,
I mean, I'm very proud of every single one of them.
Yeah, that Dent Studio West badge of honor is pretty impressive. And like you said, you've stayed involved in that through still working with our senior company at Graham Academy. Choreographing this year, you did Bright Star with Off-Broadway Players in the fall, which we talked about on the show. But also coming up March 13th to 15th, Canberra Arts production of Oliver, which is a show you've choreographed 2 times now. And even after Music Man, featuring over 100 bodies on stage, you decided to come back for more of that energy with, again, 100 people, more than 100 people involved in this show. To re-choreograph a new version of Oliver with ages from grade 3 all the way up to adults. So that's really exciting that we're doing that March 13th to 15th. Tickets are on sale at the Arts and Culture Centre. What is it like to not only return to a show, but go back with different visions, different directors, different teams, different actors?
There's a few of my musicals that are on my list that I've done multiple times. And very few I will do exactly the same. You know, there are some things that I will do that worked really well the first time, and I don't want to mess it up. And I thought, that, you know, that really nailed it. So we'll do that section the same way we did before, but not very many. So I do like to, and because there's new cast and new people and different numbers of people and different feelings of, you know, the way that people interact with each other, it's really cool to change it up. So yeah, and working with Amelia is absolutely a godsend. She is absolutely so amazing to work with. So being able, last time I did it all on my own. So this time having somebody who I can, you know, play off of and give ideas to, and she has all of her ideas, and she's doing a lot more than I am on this one, thank God. Bless her, because I don't think I could do it all myself this time. But she is definitely the one I'm leaning on. But, you know, she leans on me too because I did it before. So she's like, do you have any ideas for this or for this or for this? So it's really fun to be part of a team doing it this time. So that's a whole different vibe. And I love that aspect of it for sure.
Yeah, excellent. Well, we'll talk now about what you've been up to recently on the other end of your life. So for many years, I think really, you know, since the dawn of the definition YouTuber, that has been something you've had an interest in and have involved yourself in, but it's since expanded into a couple of different areas. So we're going to see a little clip I've actually shared a couple videos with Amy in this particular topic. So we'll see a little clip of one of Amy's videos focused on thrifting hauls. And then we'll come back and talk a little bit about what it is like to be a YouTuber.
So I'm just looking through the sweaters, and everything is in really rough shape. Like everything is stretched out at the neck, or pilling, like badly pilling. Like there's always a little bit, but like nothing is in half decent shape, which is disappointing because I wanted to find a thin sweater that I can wear over a button up. But everything is like, look. Like this, everything, all the necks are stretched out, and you know, there's like hooks and pilling. So I don't know. There's not really. Well, this is a large, and it's stretched a lot.
So there is a little teaser on one of the topics that Amy regularly covers. So Amy, first off, how did you come up with a name for this YouTube account? I know, again, that's been on a journey too.
Yeah. My YouTube journey started 10 years ago. And that was, I had a little toddler. He was 3. And I started my YouTube channel as something creative to do. But that wasn't having to do with anybody else. It was just for me. Yeah. It was just my own thing. And so it started off as the dancing mommy because that's what I did. I was Henry's mommy and I was the dance girl in town. So that's what the first name was. And that was 10 years ago. And I would do like organizational videos because I am the most unorganized, messy person. And I would do that to try and keep myself organized. So I figured if I did a video on it, it would help keep it real and that other people could see it as like, this is what I'm doing. I have to keep it so that it looks good. It didn't actually pan out. I'm still a mess. But that was how it started. And then I've always been an avid thrifter, like yourself. You know, we do love a good thrift shop. So I started doing thrifting videos because I loved watching them. So I was like, well, I could do this because, you know, I watch them, I love them. We've done a number of thrifting videos. I'm sure if we go through my channel, there's a lot of Ian going with me as we head to Deer Lake on our thrift adventures seasonally. But then I started to branch out on like vlogging and vlogging backstage and rehearsals. And there's a lot of show vlogs. And I love vlogging just because it's very natural and just as I am. I don't have to pretend. It's just me. Mm-hmm. And I also do quite a bit. I love to cook. So I do some cooking videos, although they're not as pristine as, you know, those beautiful edited videos. I'm a messy cook, but I love to cook. So I've branched out into doing that. And that's been 10 years and I'm still going.
Yeah, it's amazing, I think, too, to hear that, because I think it can really inspire folks that, you know, again, giving yourself a little extra purpose, a little bonus of organizing and being able to, you know, record that and post it. And it's gained you a number of followers, right?
Yeah.
Those kind of decluttering videos are very satisfying to watch.
Yeah.
But also cooking, I remember there was one you did that was focused on kind of family meals that you could do one of those pre-bought chickens in. Which is great because, again, we all need those resources. So it's a great, I think YouTube is a great resource for knowledge. It's a great resource for the sharing of knowledge.
The second most used search engine now. It's there's
interesting.
Google and there's YouTube.
Yeah. So that's a neat thing. So we'll see now a little sneak peek of 2 of those other topics, a little bit of a decluttering video and a little bit of a cooking video, just so you can see what kind of goes into the layers of making these things.
Welcome to another episode of I Have Way Too Much Stuff. Okay, so I'm going to tackle this. I do have a bag of donation stuff. I do have some Christmas stuff that needs to be packed away besides the pajamas. but all that will be taken care of. All right, so I'm going to turn to this. Came out pretty good. For stepping on. Well, happy Valentine's Day. I thought we'd take a little break of the decluttering, cleaning out of my closet, and cook something for Valentine's Day. I cook with a lot of butter. So far, hasn't been a problem. Maybe someday it will be.
So there's certainly a variety of topics that you could cover. And again, fictional adulting is quite the title. Why that?
Steve came up with that, my husband. Because I never felt like an adult. I never felt like a grown-up. I still don't feel like a grown-up. I don't feel like I'm an adult, but I'm pretending to be. So I'm fictional.
There we go. And again, I think we all have those moments, though, right? Of looking around a room as we grow up and we're like, who's the adult here? I'm the adult here. I have to solve this. You know, when that happens as you have a family, you know, you're cooking. You, of course, have 2 young children. I've had the great experience of having an exchange student, but it really changes your perspective on things. You're coming home at the end of the day and you're like, oh, I have to cook a meal for a family right now.
Yeah.
So I think those...
lie on the couch and put my feet up and eat chips like I want to.
Yeah, those resources I think are wonderful, and it's family oriented often. You know, some of your decluttering videos, I know you found memories and moments that you get to share, and you've developed relationships through YouTube as well.
Yes, I've made
across
quite a
the
few friends.
world. You know, so what has that element of it been like to make those connections?
Yeah, it's really fun to be able to meet people online, but through your content. You know, they do something similar. Like I have a friend in Ontario, just outside of Ottawa, who does the same kind of thrifting, vintage kind of thing, but her style is really different than mine. But we still connect on that level of, oh, I found this really cool thing today, or I found this really, so we have that kind of cool connection. And, you know, I have a friend in England, same thing. Like she does a lot of vintage stuff, and it's great to have other people that know what you're doing. You know, it's when they're I'm not getting views on this. Why is it? And they'll give you tips on, well, did you do this to, oh yeah, I forgot about that part. And you know, it's great to have somebody to talk to about who does the same thing.
No, I know it's a very positive community is really what has been said in terms of that, because everyone's doing it, and it starts, I think, like many things in the arts, it starts with a passion.
Yeah.
A passion for it, a passion for sharing it, and finding the resources to be able to do that. So I think it's quite exciting to make those connections, and they are daily connections in some cases.
Sometimes, yeah. And it's funny because people say, well, what do you do with the negative comments or the hate comments? I'm like, I've probably had 3 in 10 years.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, it is what it is. You're going to get it no matter what. In real life, online, it's like people are just bored.
Yeah.
But like it's not a big deal. It doesn't really last.
Yeah, absolutely. And we'll go into one more type of video. This one's a fairly recent one. I believe it's a new channel as well that is specialized on these videos. Something that's been a part of your teaching practice and has been a favorite of many students, but particularly some of our Graham Academy senior company that helps them calm down. You know, the kids that do arts programming tend to be the busiest kids. They are in sports, they maintain high marks, they also do theater and care deeply about it, they do music, they do festivals, competitions, audition recordings. It's pretty ambitious what some of these very talented young folks do. So what is this new project?
So I have a separate channel completely that I had started for something else and it didn't pan out, but I still had it there, and I was like, what am I going to do with it? Am I going to just shut it down? And then the GA kids have been after me for years. Like this has been probably like for 4 years. Have been after me to record these relaxation sessions I would do with them at the end of class. Not every week. Sometimes I would kind of like feel it out in the class. And I used to do it as part of my modern classes for years. Like even back when the studio was on West Street, like I'd be doing it then. And what it basically is when I could feel my students were stressed. And I wasn't getting the best out of them, and they were distracted, tired. Oh, they're always been overscheduled, and I could always tell that vibe in the class. And I would do this. It wasn't, they would call it a meditation. It is not a meditation. I am not trained in any kind of meditation. But it was movement relaxation. And that's what the channel is called, movement relaxation. I thought I'd just call it what it is. And it's a series of movements that you do on the floor, lying down on your side, that helps distract your mind and relax. So what I've kind of figured is what makes it so appealing to them is because I am telling and I'm explaining what the movements are and how long to hold it, and how it's not yoga, nothing is stressful or straining, nothing is, it's all just very relaxing movements, that their mind is preoccupied in listening to what I'm saying and doing the movements, that their mind calms down. It's the only thing I can kind of figure that why it works so well. And they love it. And it's at my classes now with the GA kids are on Mondays, so they're always like that first day back, the first part of the week, they're always pretty stressed about everything they got to do the rest of the day, and it's the last part of the day on a Monday that they're always like, can we do relaxation? Sometimes we have time, sometimes we don't. Lately we haven't had much time. But I will do this relaxation, and it's different every time, and sometimes I'm a bit funny, sometimes it's totally chill and relaxed. And I decided to record them and use that other channel that I had so that they could access them whenever they needed. So right now there's 2 up there and an intro video. And I'm planning on trying to get one up every week so that they're roughly 15 minutes. Some might be longer, some might be shorter, whenever I get a chance to do them. But yeah, that's how it started, through my dancers being stressed. But I feel like it can work for anybody if you have a really active, busy life, because it's not strenuous. It's not yoga. It's not stretching. It's not any kind of physical, you're not going to lose weight or break a sweat or anything like that. It's purely for relaxation.
Yeah, absolutely. So we'll hear a little teaser of that. Now, we won't go the full 15 minutes because we don't want you to snooze out during this.
It's happened.
But it can happen in these exercises. So we'll see a little sneak peek of that, and then we'll come back and clue things up and tell you how you can find some of these videos if you're feeling inspired.
And once again, let's bring those knees back together, feet flat on the floor. And we are going to drop both knees to the same side. You can let your hips twist, come up off the floor. We're going to try and keep our back as much on the floor as possible so that we get a little core stretch twist here. And breathe.
Well, that was great. That was certainly a treat. And I think it's so valuable to have those resources during the day. To take 15 minutes for yourself is a rare thing right now. Yeah. Many of us have phones, smartphones. How often do we spend 15 minutes more scrolling through and then realizing, oh, I haven't actually relaxed. I've just been scrolling through Facebook with things that I don't always care about. So
and
I think
get pretty nervous wrecked over what you see.
Yeah, so I think it's such a valuable thing to replace that with both micro learning opportunities that really, even fictional adulting, that's cooking, that's decluttering, that's methods of that work for Amy.
Yeah, it's
but they
just
may
a
work for you.
Anything that kind of goes with your lifestyle of cooking, cleaning, parenting sometimes.
Yeah.
But it's a little bit of everything.
Or taking a moment to check in with your body, which is something that we all should be doing every day. We should check in and say, how am I feeling today? Oh, that arm's a little stiffer. I'll be aware of that. But we don't. We go out, we have to shovel. We have to clear off the car. We get in the car. It's cold. Everything seizes up. I think it's something that we should gift ourselves, is those opportunities to sit down and give our focus. So you could find Amy on YouTube, Fictional Adulting, or what's our new channel?
Movement Relaxation.
Movement Relaxation. Both of those are available on YouTube for you to find and discover, whether you're taking part in it or whether you're actually engaging in it yourself and making videos eventually. Coming up in Corner Brook, a couple great events. The Arts and Culture Centre will have on February 24th the Kinsman Variety Show, a winter carnival tradition. The 21st is the start of Carnival. It's always a great time with a lot of fantastic events everywhere in the city. There's somewhere to eat every night. There's breakfast at the Legion every morning and a lot of music and arts events going on. March 1st at the Arts and Culture Centre, there's a Night of Black Excellence. And I will say the Rotary Arts Centre, February 28th, are celebrating Black History Month. So those two events are going to be really quite special, with a lot of our students at Grenfell campus participating in those. And of course, March 13th to 15th, don't forget, Canberra Arts is presenting Oliver at the Arts and Culture Centre. Tickets are on sale for that and our spring productions. The Newfoundland premiere of Mean Girls the Musical, choreographed by Amy Andrews and directed by myself. And we also have a double bill for younger audiences of Shrek and Winnie the Pooh. And don't forget, if you're feeling cold and lonely this February, who isn't? It's pretty gray out there and pretty cold. February 14th and February 21st, there are two events in the accessible building of 110 Humber Road. That is Silly Love Songs with Nick Hamlin, Alison Clark, and myself. And Piano Woman with Jennifer Billard. Going to be a real treat to fill your February with some events and get out of the house on these cold, dreary days. So we hope to see you at one of those events, or maybe even more. Or maybe we'll see you as a viewer on Amy's YouTube channel. Thanks for tuning in to The Stage Door, and we'll see you soon.